Hello everyone. My apologies for joining few minutes late, but technicalities are the technicalities anyways.
No worries at all, Prabhanshu.
Thank you.
Meg, would you like to start?
Yeah, sure. A very pleasant afternoon to everyone gathered here today. Thank you so much for joining in. On behalf of Enactus Dalton College and VG Learning Destination, I, Mehek Gokia, welcome you all to today's exciting webinar on how to become a global CEO of 170 plus countries, an ACCA. The Association of Chartered Certified Accountants is the global professional accounting body offering the Chartered Certified Accountant qualification. This is often referred to as Global CA. The international standard based qualification allows you to work as a qualified professional in the field of finance, management, and accounting across continents. Without any further ado, I would like to invite our speakers for the day. We have with us Mr. Prabhanshu Mittal, the Senior Business Relationship Manager at ACCA India. We also have with us Ms. Shilpi Jain, who is the ACCA Head and Trainer at PG Learning Destination. We welcome you, ma'am and sir. I would now like both of you to take the stage and share your insightful thoughts with the attendees. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your kind introduction. I request Prabhanshu to please enlighten students with respect to the ACCA qualification and how the ACCA qualification, along with their BCom, can actually give them a cutting edge that is very much required in today's much competitive world.
Okay. Thank you. So can I just ask for the confirmation first that can you see my screen?
Yes, very much.
Okay. So first of all, thank you. I mean, I'm really pleased to be present over here and discussing about ACCA qualification with all of you. Thank you, Mehak, for the kind introduction, and thank you, Shilpi, for helping us to set up this with the Alsing College. So it is an absolute pleasure and honor to be present over here. Now, I'm Prabhanshu Mittal, and I work with ACCA, currently managing their North India as a Senior Business Relationship Manager. And probably it's been like a 6.5 years journey with the ACCA so far, which I have seen. And I have seen ACCA growing in India for over the period of these years. Now, the reason is that ACCA actually brings the cutting edge qualification with the highest standard of evaluation, at the same time bringing the new technology and the new financial trends, making them aware and helping the students to be job ready. At the same time, providing the opportunity in a vast market like India. So this is probably one of the reasons I can say personally, I believe into has been the reason of ACCA's growth in India. Now, ACCA stands for Association of Chartered Certified Accountants. It is a body which is a founding body of IFAC, which is International Federation of Accountants, and has incorporated in 1904. So we are basically a 118 years young professional body. And the reason I'm saying young is because, as I said, that we are super contemporary and cutting edge. We are the world's most forward-thinking professional accountancy body. The forward-thinking, what do I mean by that? We all know about IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standards. India has converged to Indian accounting standards, which is nothing but based on IFRS. Almost 70% of the globe today actually using IFRS as their accounting standards. ACCA was the first body in the world to have IFRS incorporated into its syllabus way back in 1996. So while India has converged to IFRS somewhere around 2018, ACCA has already been teaching IFRS for over 2 decades by then. And in fact, the first set of the countries has implemented IFRS in 2001, 2002. So by that time, the countries and the companies were looking at IFRS ready professionals. ACCA has already produced them. That's what the forward thinking is. We anticipate and we prepare ourselves to what are the most futuristic trends in the field of finance and accounting, and then we act accordingly. And the way we actually do it is through our vast network of the corporates, as well as the majority of the research which we do through the professional insights. With over 230,000 members and 6 lakh students, the data is actually very dynamic, so it changes every year, on a daily basis rather. Uh, our students and members are present in 181 countries. So almost 90% of the globe is where ACCA is present. So now you can see the length and breadth in which ACCA has been operating today. We have got 110 offices in 60 plus countries, 7,400 approved employers, over 500 examination centers in 150 countries today. And in addition to that, the students from India also do have an option to appear for the exams from home. So we have implemented remotely invigilated examinations as well. So in case, if you're concerned about COVID, I mean, everybody is actually concerned about the COVID for the last 2 years. You can actually appear the examinations in the safe environment of your home as well. That's also an option available. Then several hundred quality checked tuition providers, and VGLD is actually a gold approved learning partner of ACCA, has been working with us for over 6 years now, and has been delivering the phenomenal quality in terms of the student progression, the pass rate, so on and so forth. More than 800 universities are also running ACCA programs across 1,800 plus exemption accredited programs. So 800 universities are running 1,800 plus programs of ACCA across the globe. Now, this is about the global, right? What does ACCA do in India? We have got offices in Delhi and Bombay. I'm based in Delhi office, which is in Aerocity. We have got 40,000 plus active students today. Now, out of those 40,000, I mean, there are so many students who have actually become affiliate and members as well. So students, if I say, there are more than 40,000 who are pursuing ACCA qualification in India today. ACCA programs in 100 plus universities and colleges are running in India. We have more than 50 plus approved learning partners and 100 plus approved employer corporate relationships. Now, what does employers do with ACCA? Employers do hire ACCA talent. They, in fact, at times prefer ACCA talent over any other talent at all. They also do sponsor qualification for their own employees. Like, for example, KPMG does that. Even EY also does that. And there are several other companies which sponsor ACCA qualification for their own employees. And the reason they do it is because they see value in it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have actually shelling out the money to do this, right? So we have got 100 plus corporates in India, which are approved employers of ACCA, and of course 7,400, and out of which several hundred and thousands of corporates are actually operating in India as well. So those are in addition to this 100 corporate relationships which we have, which are specifically to Indian market. Now, what does the qualification looks like? The qualification overall has got 13 papers, is spread over 3 levels. The first level is applied knowledge, the one which is colored in gray. The second level is applied skills, the one which is in orange. And the last level is a strategic professional, of which there are, you can see 6 papers, but typically the students have to appear for 4 papers. The first 2 papers, the strategic business leader and the strategic business reporting, are the compulsory papers. And out of options, which are advanced financial management, performance management, taxation, and audit and assurance, the student has to choose any 2. So essentials 2 papers and options 2 paper makes it 4. So 3 in knowledge, 6 in skills, 9 plus 4 in strategic professional, 13. So overall 13 papers are what ACCA comprises of. Once you complete the second level, which is applied skills, you get an advanced diploma in accounting and business. And once you finish off the overall 13 papers, you are an ACCA affiliate. In order to become a member, you're also required to have a 3 years of relevant working experience. Now, how is it different from the other qualifications? In other qualifications, what you have to do is that basically you have to do an internship for the period of 3 years. In ACCA, that is a working experience. The idea is you finish off your qualification, get on a job, that working experience will be counted. So there is no need for additional internship which you have to pursue, which typically saves at least 3 years, right? And ACCA is a much flexible qualification, of course, which I'll cover during the latter part of my slides. So that will also save probably 1.5 years of your time career. So you will roughly save at least 4 to 5 years if you're pursuing ACCA qualification versus any other qualification in India. In addition to this, you also have an option that to get a BSc in Applied Accounting and Finance from Oxford Brookes University, the UK, and MSc in Professional Accountancy from the University of London. So that's how it becomes a very rewarding qualification. And the best part is this qualification gives credit to what you have already studied earlier. So you really don't have to study it again. And for Delhi University, there are 4 papers conditional exemption, which is already been available. So the first 4 papers, that means entire knowledge level, and the corporate and business law paper is something which you don't have to appear. What you'll be doing is that you'll be starting your journey from PM, which is performance management. So typically out of 13 papers, -4 is what you have to do, is basically 9 papers. Now, why ACCA? I mean, I have talked about ACCA, but the question which comes into my mind as a student is why should I actually pursue ACCA qualification? Number one, as Mehak was talking, as Shilpi was talking about, it's a global qualification. Now, at times you need a global flavor or now into your qualification. I give you an example. I mean, if you're working in a corporate, so for example, you're working in Google. I'm just taking any random example. So because we Google a lot, that's why I took an example of Google. So if you're working in Google, you might not only be working with the colleagues who are present in probably Gurgaon office where you are there. You might be working with the colleagues who are based in Bangalore office. You might be working with the colleagues who are based in their California office or other offices all across the world. How would you connect with them? One is soft skill. Second is also technical skills. And that's why you need a global qualification which they can actually relate to. If they have pursued the same qualification, they can relate to it. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for them to relate to that. And that's where actually the performance of an individual comes from. So that's why there is always a need of the global qualification. The second piece is if you're thinking of migrating to other countries, then of course you need a qualification which is recognized in various other parts of the world. If you're pursuing any particular qualification which is recognized only in India or probably in the Indian subcontinent, and if you're aspiring to probably move to the UK, then that is something which is not going to help you out. Even if you get an immigration or PR, how will you actually look for the job or probably do the business? That's where the global qualifications comes into picture. The third piece is the professional growth. The professional growth is also very important because global qualifications are recognized globally. So there is more likely that the companies which are multinational would prefer to look at you because of course you are bringing out an CV which is standing out. And that's why the word of opportunity is the word which we have used while talking about why ACCA. The second piece is employers trust ACCA. Now, out of 7,400 approved employers which I referred to, 90% of the Fortune 500 companies are actually approved employer of ACCA. Question is why? Look, the most important part is for the company is to bring the value for their stakeholders. How do they do that? Is through the effective business operations. How do they execute the effective business operations? Is through the effective talent which they have on board, right? And talent is finding the right amount of the talent is actually very difficult these days. We talk about employment opportunities, but we also talk about the abilities to get those employment opportunities, right? So that's why employers trust ACCA qualification, because they know, okay, this is the firm which actually helps me to get the right set of the talent which I'm looking for as far as in the field of finance and accounting is concerned. And that's where the trust building between ACCA and the employers started happening. The second thing is the course content. The first part is, of course, whether the talent is employable or not, the ability part. But the second is, can they perform the job? If they are studying the relevant things, which is basically the learning and development of probably the training part. If they are studying the relevant stuff, what they have to perform at the workplace, the employers don't have to invest a lot of time and money on the L&D part of the employees. And that's where ACCA comes into the picture, because it teaches the most contemporary aspects of the finance and accounting, which are employers using on a day-to-day basis. And how do we do that? Is basically we take the feedback from the employers. Okay, this is something which you have incorporated. You have incorporated AI or probably robotics or blockchain into your systems. So we have incorporated that into our syllabus as well. So there is a connect. Third, we are brilliantly flexible. I think I'll touch upon this piece after a couple of slides, because this requires more focus. But we are a brilliantly flexible qualification. And the network. Now imagine, everybody talks about the network, right? Everybody knows the importance of the social media. I'm sure many of you are super active on LinkedIn as well, right? And why are we active on the LinkedIn? Because we want to network with the people, and we want to network with the people who can actually help us out into our aspirations, right? Who are relevant to us. And that's where the actually ACCA comes into the picture. If you are actually in the finance and accounting, imagine a network of almost 1 million people in the form of the students and in the form of the affiliates and members guiding you across 181 countries. That's the kind of the network which actually ACCA provides you. And when you yourself are ACCA, the people from other parts of the world who themselves are ACCA will always recognize you and will always look forward to support you. That's what the power of the networking is. How is ACCA qualification different? I talked about flexibility, right? So let me touch upon that piece first. There is no grouping in ACCS. So like you have to do 4 papers at time, 40 marks and 200 aggregate. That is not a concept in ACCA. You can start pursuing 1 paper at a time. So for example, if you are in say 2nd semester or in the 4th semester right now, you can see that which are the papers you are studying which are aligned with ACCA examinations. And then you can prepare them without having put across a significant academic burden on yourself, but is still passing both the examination together. So that's what the flexibility is. Second is examinations can be appeared in any order. And that's why I said that you can actually plan your papers accordingly to what you are studying in your Delhi University curriculum. So taxation comes later, performance management comes first. PM is actually the 5th paper. Taxation is the 6th paper in ACCA. If you want to appear for taxation first, go ahead. That's allowed in ACCA. So you can appear, you can make your own combination and permutations within that group, and you can appear the examinations in any order within that group. The third thing is 4 exam sessions. So what happens usually, if you lose out 1 exam session, that means you have lost 6 months. In ACCA, this is not the case. We do 4 exam sessions last month of every quarter. That's when the exams do happen. March, June, September, December. So you can plan your studies accordingly versus your semester examinations. So for example, your semester exams are in December. So you can skip ACCA in December, but probably you can do it in the March, right? and June and September. So that's how you can also plan your studies. And this gives much more flexibility having the 4 examination sessions, that when do you want to appear which paper without having to worry about the grouping. And if you are ready for 2 papers, go ahead. If you're ready for only 1 paper, go ahead. If you're ready for more than 2 exams, why not? So you can appear for any number of examinations from 1 up to 4. Rewarding qualifications. It is a rewarding qualification. It adds a lot of value to your resume, a lot of weightage to your resume. If you are getting international degree, if you're getting an international master's, if you're getting an advanced diploma, if you're getting an ACCA qualification, it brings a lot of value to your resume. Faster progression. Now imagine if there is no grouping, it'll be a lot easier for you to pass the examinations. I'm not saying that ACCA is easy. ACCA is not, but the flexibility actually helps you to plan your studies accordingly and effectively, right? And that's why the progression is actually going to be much more faster for you than any other qualification. And that's why I said that you'll be able to save at least 4.5, 5 years if you're pursuing ACCA qualification. Now imagine you are appearing for 1 paper at a time. Let's say, for example, in every quarter, how much time would you take to finish off ACCA qualification? 2 years. And if you are appearing for any local qualification, how much time would you need? Foundations, then intermediate, then 3 years articleship, then finals. And of course, you have to keep that margin of examinations and then margin for probably, if you by mistake, if you failed 1 paper, even if you got 200 aggregate or probably 40 plus in all the papers, you have to reappear that group. So that will add up another 6 months, which is not the case with ACCA. So you can finish off this qualification in probably a couple of years, while the other qualification can be finished off in 6 years or 7 years, or probably sometimes more. So imagine you are saving 5 years of your career. In 5 years, at least 2 promotions, right? If you are an average performer or probably decent performer. So you can take a couple of promotions. Your salary will be at least doubled. I'm just assuming on as per the industry standards, right? And then there are so many other things which you can pursue, right? So your career will be starting probably at the age of 21, 22, while the others' career will be starting at 27 or 28. I'm talking about the proper career, not as an article somewhere. Professional career I'm referring to. So that's what the difference, and I hope you'll understand the value of saving 5 years, because that's extremely important. With 4-paper conditional exemptions, you also have the leverage to not appear for initial 4 papers. So typically only 9 papers are left out. And because of this flexibility, I'm again saying that ACCA is not an easy qualification, but because of this flexibility, the ACCA pass rates are much better. Because now at least you are studying 3 months for only 1 paper versus studying for 4 or 5 months for 4 papers together. So that's where the flexibility and the progression comes. As I said, qualification of the first choice by employers. Because of the dynamic syllabus, we change the syllabus every year. So we make sure that what is the most important thing is actually being covered into the syllabus. Practical and case study basis evaluation is something what we do. I give you an example. A strategic business leader is one paper which you would have probably seen in the professional level. Now in the strategic business leader, that is only one case study. The entire paper, 100 marks paper, one case study, 4 hours, 13 to 15 pages at least. And is the amalgamation of all what you have studied earlier. Why? Because in the real life, you get a scenario. You don't get a chapter of a particular paper, right? And that's how you have to actually act accordingly. And that's where your employability, your experience actually comes into the picture. And we all use computers these days. We all have smartphones, right? We are all tech savvy, basic tech savvy, at least we all are, right? So computer-based examinations, because at the workplace, you'll be using more computer more often than using your own diaries. This is all good, right? The most important part is employability. Whether I would get a job or not, And if yes, then what kind of the job is the question which everybody has in its mind while pursuing any qualification. ACCA has its own career portal, which is jobs.accaglobal.com. And there are jobs available. In fact, let me just open randomly for you. In fact, I haven't also seen this for some time. Okay. So I'm there live right now on the ACCA career portal. Now, if you see here, you can search for the jobs region wise. If you're looking for the internships, that's also available. You can search for the jobs basis on the role as well. Then basis on the sector as well, whether in the field of pharmaceutical, transport, digital, technology, shared services, IT telecom, healthcare, accounting, BFSI, anything. Then there are some articles which will be useful for you if you're looking out for the jobs, right? Let me just search because we are based in India. So let me just search for the jobs within India. 957 postings are there. Now, I said 957 postings. There are several postings which require more than one person to be joined in. So as on today, while we are talking about the COVID, the market, industries, the economy is being affected by the COVID. Still, there are thousands of the jobs which are available for ACCA professionals in India, ranging from Hyderabad to Bangalore to Tamil Nadu to Mumbai and several others. Which are those companies? I'm referring to BNY, Morgan Stanley, EY. EY in Chandigarh is also hiring ACCA professionals, for the matter if somebody is from Chandigarh out of it, right? Then audit manager with German, I think this is something which is very particular requirement. In Mizoram, assurance associate. So these are all entry level positions. Those who are fresh ACCAs or probably part qualified, even the jobs are available for somebody who has just advanced diploma in accounting and business as well. Now, MP Chitale and then again EY in Kochi, Chennai, Mumbai, Haryana, Gurgaon office, of course, Pune, JP Morgan Chase in Mumbai. And there are so many other positions. I mean, I just opened up one page. I'm just randomly opening any page. Credit Suisse, of course, that is based in Pune and Mumbai. Then again, back to BNY, Northern Trust, State Street. That's mainly for, I mean, US regulatory. DuPont. So that's how you can see. And if you see, I mean, I'm on the third page and these postings are actually just made 4 days back. There are postings which are made just 1 day back. So there is a continuous demand of ACCA professionals in India. And of course, outside India as well. But because we are based in India, so that's why I'm showing you in India. But if you're looking for, so for example, let me just open. What is the demand of ACCA professionals in the UK? Of course, we are a British body. So there are more than 14,400 job postings which are there available right now in the UK. So all across the world, there is a demand of ACCA professionals. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, what kind of the profiles? The profiles are ranging from audit seniors in the Big Fours to the risk manager in the BFSI to the business analyst in the consulting to the partner level to management accounting, credit control manager, forensic accounting, CFOs. So all across the profiles are available for ACCA professionals across the industries, across the world, across the locations within India. So there is no dearth of the jobs for ACCA professionals. In fact, I would say as a normal graduate, commerce graduate, if you apply for a job, there are usually in India, what happens, at least 150 or 200 people are also applying for that job, right? So your chance, the probability of you getting the job is 1 by 200. As an ACCA, if you are applying for the job, So maybe only 5 or 10 ACCAs are actually applying. So your probability, the ratio actually changes everything. It is 20 times much better ratio if you're actually applying for those jobs as an ACCA. At times, I mean, my corporate team comes back to me and says that, Prabhanshu, we are actually looking for ACCA professionals. There are these companies which are looking for maybe 400 employees in EOI or probably KPA, so on and so forth. So how can you actually help us to get that much amount of talent? And believe me, I mean, it happens at times with me that I'm not able to supply them the number of the jobs they have, the number of the resumes versus the jobs. I'm not able to supply them because, as you're saying, that we are young in India, and most of the actually students are in the pursuing stage at the moment, right? There are many who have graduated. They are based in India. They have moved out of India. But when we talk about the freshers, many of the students are in the pursuing stage. So that way, there is more number of jobs versus the talent which is available. And that's where the opportunities actually do come for you. Now, so what do you get end of the day? You get a BCom from Delhi University, you get an ACCA qualification, you get an advanced diploma in accounting and business. And in addition to that, you have an option to get a BSc from Oxford Brookes University and MSc from University of London. In case if you want to pursue MBA, that is also an option available. MBA from Oxford Brookes University or MBA from University of Ireland, Dublin. So you have got variety of qualifications to show to the employer that you are actually ready to be employed at their firm. So that's what actually ACCA brings to you. In addition to this, of course, we do support students through virtual career fair. There are several employers which actually come for those virtual career fairs, and there are thousands of the students actually who reach out over there just to see at times that what are the expectations the corporates do have, and of course they also apply for the jobs. We also do support our students during their journey with ACCA, and after in fact they become members through their continuous professional development, CPDs. So that is all the system which is already available in order to support. That's it from my side. I'm happy to take any questions, but back to you, Shilpi.
Thank you so much, Prabhanshu, for very elaborately explaining to the students that yes, definitely, to be able to stand out from the crowd, to be able to gain a competitive edge, students today, only a BCom degree is not going to be something that is going to be, be able to highlight you from the so many resumes that employers receive today. So yes, improvise upon the ratio of getting selected in good companies. Start your career much, much earlier than your peers, because along with your BCom, when you are doing your ACCA qualification, within a span of minimum 2 years, you can literally become a global CA as well. We've seen some queries in the chat box, but before that, I would just like to very quickly talk to you about that how VG Learning Destination will help you in your ACCA journey with our tuitions, with our classes that we provide for our ACCA course. I hope my screen is visible to all. Please confirm if my screen is visible. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, so yes, VG Learning Destination, like Prabhanshu just mentioned, is a gold approved learning partner of ACCA. Now, what does this gold approved learning partner actually means? Gold approved learning partner means that we are a certified partner having proven our quality for our ACCA trainings over the years. Now, VG Learning Destination, I'm sure you all must be knowing VG Learning with the name of VG Sir, Vinod Gupta Sir, the tax guru, which we all already know of, someone who has been there as, and providing chartered accountancy training in the direct tax stream for over 30 years now. Along with CA, we have been providing our ACCA training for over 6 years now. So yes, we have been one of the oldest partners of ACCA in North India. We have, VG Learning itself has a greater pan-India presence in terms of 150 plus franchises in India. We have international presence in Singapore, UAE, Nepal. So yes, very much we are there. And, you must be knowing us already for your CA classes if you are, pursuing your CA qualification. But along with that, for our ACCA classes as well, we are much renowned. Now, a typical student ACCA journey, what does that look like? Prabhanshu has already told you that, yes, there are 13 papers that you need to appear for because you are pursuing BCom from Delhi University. You have been given the special entitlement to be able to claim 4 conditional exemptions of the first 4 papers, leaving you with only 9 papers to appear for your ACCA. And once you actually come on board, there is a lot of hand-holding that we believe to give to our students, be it in terms of the online classes which are being provided with 100% backup being given to the students, one-on-one trainer support being provided, because here all the trainers are ACCA qualified trainers themselves. So we've all done it. So I myself am an ACCA qualified. I'm a trainer at VG Learning as well. So along with me, there's an entire army which is looking after your ACCA trainings, because we've been there, we've done that. We know how to, take care of your ACCA classes, your exams, and make you exam ready really. Because this is not just the time to, we cannot be complacent in our professional journey. We cannot be complacent in terms of letting, fail an attempt, wait another 6 months. No, the world is moving at a very, very fast pace. So even if you're progressing in your ACCA journey with, let's say, 1 paper, 1 attempt, which makes you like giving, having done with 4 papers in 1 year, literally in 2 years span, along with your BCom as well, you will be a qualified global accountant. And yes, we are there to make you ready for that as well. Be it, talking about mock exams, be it making you familiar with the computer-based exams that ACCA is providing. There's an entire practice platform, which ACCA provides. It's a very, very progressive qualification that we are dealing with here. So like, Prabhanshu just mentioned that we're talking about AI, we're talking about robotics, we're talking about big data, we're talking about all the hot topics which are going to impress the employer in terms of your skill set. It's not just about, your qualification. It's about what is coming on board with you when the employer is hiring you. So both employability as well as employment is what ACCA is taking care of. We are, organizing soft skills programs for our students, be it a lot of student engagement sessions that we are having. We're talking about communication skills, how to build your CV, everything basically that is going to make you job ready by the time you are done with your ACCA qualification. So that is just the hand-holding journey. And yes, like I said, we are known for our ACCA, CA classes, but yes, we are known for our ACCA classes as well, because we have had a lot of all India rank holders coming in from our institute who are pursuing the CA, the ACCA qualification with us. And this could be definitely one of you as well. Now, going forward, I'm sure, the most obvious question that you would all be looking for is, okay, what is the investment like? So how can I basically come on board with starting my ACCA journey really? So because this was a special webinar, which was organized for the Alsing College students, our regular price for starting on the ACCA journey is 33,000, in which we provide the ACCA registration along with any 2 subjects classes. The classes are live online, happening over weekends, with 100% backup being given on the LMS as well. There is also an exclusive scholarship benefit that we offer to our students. However, because this is something that we are going on a one-on-one basis for your college, only being part of the Delhi University College, we are offering this to you for 26,400 only. But remember, this scheme is only valid until 31st of January. So we will, we will be reaching out to you, or you can reach out to the team, get all your queries resolved, and quickly start your journey with your ACCA and become, and unleash your true potential really. But we don't want to be like ordinary these days, right? Everybody requires a special something, a special add-on onto their resumes to be able to land up in the right job. This is definitely something that will be that. And like I mentioned, there is an exclusive scholarship as well. So when you pay 26,400 to bring on, and start with your ACCA journey, Your registration is done. You get 2 subjects classes from VG Learning. And along with that, you get a scholarship benefit in terms of the benefits of the money that you will be saving on because you will be coming on board with VG Learning. And that is a scholarship worth 44,100, which actually includes the registration fees, which we will be paying on your behalf. 100% waiver on the annual subscription of your 2022, that is going to be equals to GBP 116, which is, if you just multiply it with 100 for ease of multiplication, comes out to be 11,600 rupees. And the first 4 papers, which will be conditionally exempted for you, ideally ACCA charges the full exemption fees for any exemption that the student is getting. But because you will be registering via VG Learning Destination, you will be getting 100% waiver for the 4 paper exemption fees that actually amounts to GBP 369 approximately. So yes, to be able to avail that, all you really have to do is submit your college ID card to us. And yes, the special scheme will be provided to you. Now, I will not take much of your time and just leave you with the details as to where you can actually reach out to the team at VG Learning to be able to resolve any further queries if you have, to be able to start with your inquiry and on the queries. So let me just quickly open up the chat box and take up queries. Let me just check. Okay, there we are. Prabhanshu, may I just ask you a few questions that the students want to ask? So the most obvious question is why to choose ACCA and not CA? I think you've already elaborated that during the presentation, but just very briefly, if you could just like to, tell the students really.
Okay. So thank you, Shilpi, for this question, and thanks to the students for asking this question. I would say there are 3-4 reasons behind that, and happy to elaborate them further. One is the flexibility part. Okay. The second is, I'll explain each of them. Is the rewards, basically rewarding qualification. Third is better pass rates. Of course, that is connected to flexibility. You can start your journey earlier. Then, of course, global qualification. So I'll touch upon one by one. So the flexibility, as I said, then in ACCA, you have the flexibility, number one, to move across the papers. You can, within the group, I mean, you can, if you want to appear for one a paper, which is probably FM is basically the 9th paper in the ACCA. Before, say, taxation, which is the 6th paper, that is the option which is available with you. So that is one aspect of flexibility. So your education planning, the way you plan your studies is very easy for you. The second part of the flexibility is that 4 examination sessions. As I said, you can actually plan your studies basis on your semester examinations or any other examinations we are appearing. So that's another flexibility which is available. The third flexibility, and which is the most important part, is that there is no grouping in ACCA. So unlike in the local qualification, there you have to appear for 4 papers at a time, then get 200 marks and 14 each. There is no grouping in ACCA. You can appear for 1 paper at a time. So you can actually focus a lot on that particular paper. You can gain the competence. Now, the more important piece is that you gain the competence in that paper and then you can pass that paper. So that is another thing. The second piece is related to rewarding qualification. Now, rewarding qualification in the sense, I talked about the multiple qualifications, whether it is MBA, MSc, BSc, then advanced diploma, you get the credit of what you study. So that's another thing. It adds a lot of value and weight to your resume while you are applying for a particular job. So rewarding qualification is another thing. The better pass rates, of course, it is equally, I would say, rigorous, but because of the flexibility, you have better chances of passing ACCA examinations. Now imagine if you're appearing for 1 paper and studying 3 months thoroughly for that particular paper itself, there are more chances of you passing that paper versus you are studying for 4 or 5 months and for 4 papers together. You can start your journey earlier because you can finish off the ACCA qualification earlier. So that's another thing which is available with ACCA qualification. And the fifth one, which is the most important part, is the global recognition which comes with this qualification. Now, being an ACCA, you can actually practice in more than 70 countries. If you are an ACCA member, you can write on your card, for example, UACA. So that global recognition actually helps you also to look around for a wider career opportunities in the wider space and across the globe. So that's another thing which is there with ACCA qualification. So that's why I'm saying that ACCA is a much flexible, rewarding qualification which helps you to start your career early and look for the global opportunities while it is a very rewarding qualification. Uh, I hope I've been able to answer this question, Shilpi.
Absolutely, Prabhanshu. Thank you so much for that. And thank you, Ishika, for asking this question. The next question is put up by Aditya. After ACCA, can we pursue investment banking?
Okay. So thanks, Aditya, for asking this question. While I was actually browsing across that career portal for you, I've shown a couple of jobs which are available with Morgan Stanley, which is an investment banker. There are jobs which are available with other investment banking firms as well across. If you go thoroughly onto that jobs.acca career, accglobal.com, right? So there are opportunities available for you to work in those companies which are which are into investment banking space. Of course, within investment banking, what do you want to pursue is another thing. So if you are probably want to do fund management. Now, fund management has two aspects. One is, of course, your understanding of the risk analysis, also your understanding of the finances. So finance is something which ACCA is going to definitely help you out. For the risk, of course, while you are progressing with your career, learning is a continuous process. Okay. So if you have completed ACCA, then of course, and you get on a job, once your career progresses, you can always look for the further qualification for yourself. So you can always look around for those by adding more qualifications into your kitty, maybe short term, long term, that depends on what do you want to pursue. So that's also one of the options which is available. Shilpi, back to you.
Thank you so much. The next question is put up by Shransh. Shransh wants to know, he's in first year. And so I just wanted to ask you that when one should start preparing for CA and how many years will it take for this course? Okay, Shransh. So for we are going to talk about ACCA today, but for your CA journey, you should all know that, you have to start with your intermediate level. Then you've got, you start with your foundation level, if intermediate, 3 years of your articleship. And then you've got your final levels to clear. So approximately 7 to 8 years is what it is going to take you. But whereas if you start with your ACCA journey today, along with your BCom itself, I think within a span of 2 years, really, you will become a global CA. So, I mean, really, do your homework, do your research, and then definitely, you can reach out to us for them. Then there is another question. Sorry, Prabhanshu, would like to add something?
Yes, Shilpi, thank you.
Please.
So there are two things here. Shans, thanks for this question, which is very important. Number one, you have to decide what do you want to do, right? If you want to pursue any other qualification, say for example, CA itself, whatever you want to pursue, please start pursuing it right away. Okay. So even for the CA, if you're pursuing it, please start pursuing it right away. There are a bunch of the students, in fact, through VGLD itself, who are pursuing both ACCA and CA together. There are students who have completed CA but are pursuing ACCA as well together later on as well. So that's something, I mean, depends on your career aspiration. Okay. But sooner or later, of course, you would require a professional qualification. So why not today itself? At ACCA, if you are in the first year, the endeavor would be that by the time you are graduate, you are already professionally qualified. So that would be our endeavor, of course, in order to support you with. Rest is, of course, depending on your dedication, your commitment, that how soon you can complete the qualification, whichever the qualification you are pursuing. Back to you, Shilpi.
Absolutely, Prabhanshu. And while you just touched it, in fact, because visual learning is like a CA house predominantly, so many of our students who are, pursuing the ACCA qualification after having done their CA, while pursuing their CA, or while, having dropped out from their CA because of XYZ reasons of not being able to pass the CA qualification, or the amount of time and effort that actually it requires. But yes, there are many, many students who are doing the ACCA qualification along with their CA qualification as well. So the next question is, will the exemption of 4 paper be given to graduates or also to the ones who are in their first or second year of graduation? So Prabhanshu, please go ahead.
So usually the exemptions for 4 papers are available to somebody who has completed ACCA, completed their BCom. Okay. However, in case of Delhi University, the Delhi University students who are pursuing their BCom also can get the 4 paper exemptions. So for example, if you're in the first year, maybe the first or second semester, but if you're in the first year, you are given the 4 paper conditional exemptions. Once you graduate, you submit your mark sheet to us and we are happy to convert your conditional exemptions into full exemptions. And you can start your journey from the 5th paper onward, which is performance management. So typically, yes, you are given 4 paper exemptions while you are pursuing your BCom itself, if you are from Delhi University. Other than this, you have to complete your graduation first.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Prabhanshu. So the next question is, do employers actually consider how much we've scored in papers, or they focus more on the skills that we have?
Thanks for your question. I think it's a tricky one. Look, there are 2 things. Number one, employers definitely do give a consideration to the skills which you bring on the table. Okay. So if you are very skillful, you are experienced or inexperienced, depending on which position you are applying for and when are you applying for, skills are always given edge and are always considered very much. In terms of the papers, how much marks are you given? Of course, if you are a rank holder in the qualification, whether national or global, like Shilpi has also shared that there are so many global and national rank holders have been produced by VGLD for ACCA qualification as well. So that is also one of the considerations which employer gives. But skills is something which you should always keep on enhancing yourself. And this is a continuous process. So it is not like that you have gained the skill today and then you get on a job and then your job is done. No, learning is a continuous process. That's something which I always say. Okay, so always believe in that and continue to develop yourself. And that's why ACCA has a CPD things, continuous professional development. So once you become an ACCA member, we'll still hold you and we'll still help you to support your skills continuously. I hope I've been able to answer. Shilpi, would you like to add anything over here?
I think that was sufficient enough. And that's actually, a very good point raised by the student as well, because most of the times, we are just in a mad race of ranks and securing good marks. But definitely it's your overall personality that you bring to the table, really. That is what is going to matter at the end of the day, your own skill set, your qualification, and your own personality, really.
And if you have both of them, skills plus ranks, then nothing like that.
Absolutely. Well, the next question is asked by Shrey. Can we give ACCA paper with CA articleship, taking benefits of CA intermediate?
Sorry, I didn't catch the question, Shilpi.
Okay, so can we give ACCA paper with CA articleship, taking benefits of CA intermediate?
Yes. So if you have completed your articleship of chartered accountancy, because articleships are usually in the CA are relevant to finance and accounting, so that can always be considered through your PER. So if you have completed that, your 3 years of you can always file that against your practical experience requirement and directly apply for the membership. That can be considered very well.
Absolutely. And that's why we say that the ACCA qualification is an extremely flexible qualification. It recognizes the, whatever base qualification you have, be it the fact that you are pursuing your BCom, be it the fact that you've already done your CA intermediate, you've done with your 36 months of articleship required. Everything is recognized by ACCA and awarded benefits to the student likewise. So the next question is, according to you, should we take exemptions or give the first 4 papers?
That's a choice. There are set of the students who are waiving of their exemptions and want to appear for the papers as well. That's upon that how much you are keen on learning toward learning side. Of course, the exemptions are given basis on what we are assuming that you have already gained the required skills into those papers. But if you all want to test your skills, you're always welcome. But it's your choice. It is not mandatory.
Absolutely. So I think we've covered all the questions really. Anything else anybody would like to ask? Please pour in your questions in the chat box. I think it was a wonderful session, and I would just like to, thank the entire team at Enactus at Dayal Singh College, as well as always I'm thankful to Mr. Prabhanshu Mittal for extending his support to guide the students, to enlighten the students with respect to the value that the ACCA qualification adds on board for them. So that's it. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for sparing your time.
Thank you, Shilpi, and thank you, Enactus, for having this set up this session. And I wish everybody best, and I hope everybody is keeping safe. So just be safe, everyone. These are difficult times. So yeah, thanks and have a great day.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.